All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another WNBA regular season video. In this video, we're going to talk about a couple more teams, how they're playing, how they're doing, some rumors, some buzz, some stuff going on around the team, and all that good stuff. We did this a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago actually. We talked about some teams that started hot. Now we're a little deeper into the season. Some players are getting all-star buzz and all that stuff. Some teams have had some really dramatic wins, have had some really dramatic losses, have had some drama around the team, have had some stuff going on. So I just want to hit everything. I've watched this last week's bunch of games: Las Vegas versus Dallas, Golden State Valkyries versus Los Angeles Sparks, Indiana versus Toronto, New York Liberty versus Chicago, Las Vegas Aces versus Phoenix. So I have a couple game notes. I have a couple things to talk about. And yeah, if you like what I say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. I apologize. There is going to be some noise in the background. I checked it. It doesn't feel like or sound like it's coming through too much on this microphone, thank God. But if you do hear it in the background, I will try to pause the recording and then pick up when they stop. They're cutting down like a 300-year-old oak on a random Thursday. This video is being recorded on Thursday, and they're making a whole bunch of noise doing it. So I apologize. I'm so sorry. Of course, when I try to record stuff, they decide to do something in my neighborhood once again. So with that all being said, the teams that we're going to talk about mainly are the ones in front of you and the players that are in front of you. So that being the Minnesota Lynx, the Washington Mystics, the Chicago Sky, from left to right, the New York Liberty, the Atlanta Dream, the Seattle Storm, the Indiana Fever, and the Los Angeles Sparks. I might mess up some of the names in this video because I still have NBA brain. I'm still recovering from the finals, but we will make our way through. So if I stumble or fumble through my words and say the wrong team, I apologize again. These are teams I want to talk about because they're all very interesting for various different reasons. But the first one I want to talk about here, and the games I mentioned that I watched, we might talk about them, we might not. We'll see what happens. But let's talk about the Minnesota Lynx, because man, they started hot, and not only have they just started hot, they have continued their great play behind their rookie point guard, Olivia Miles, who not only is the Rookie of the Year, it's her award to lose, but is now getting some MVP buzz, and I'm not completely sure how I feel about that. The team right now is 12-13, the best record in the league. I believe the win percentage 80. The win percentage is 80, which is crazy. Back to Olivia Miles and MVP conversations, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to make this video, but also I gotta give my flowers to the Minnesota Lynx, who I'm so happy I didn't do preseason predictions because I thought this team was going to be bad, and they've been very good, and I would have looked like a fool. And I'm happy I don't look like a fool. But the Olivia Miles MVP talk, I'm here to say I enjoy her play style and enjoy what she does. I thought maybe she would struggle at the next level, at this level, at the pro level. She's struggled at times, but has always bounced back in some way, shape, or fashion, whether it's a big shot at the end of a game or a clutch shot at the closing minutes of a game, whether it's getting her teammates involved, whether it's throwing an amazing pass, whether it's just being a good leader, whether it's just having that flair and having that energy that you don't see from a lot of rookies. A lot of rookies, especially in this class, are a bit like shy or a bit like still feeling it out and are still getting like, oh, they're just a rookie, they're going to figure it out. This is what I expect from a number one pick, and she was the number two pick in Olivia Miles. And I say all that kind stuff to say we cannot be giving MVP to rookies. We just can't. As a fan base, we should not find it acceptable to give MVPs to rookies. It's still very early on in the season. I understand the hype behind her. I understand she's playing very well. But guys, let's back up for a second. Let's back up. Let's remember last year, right? Same team, the Minnesota Lynx. They had Nafisa Collier, who months into the season, whatever, right near All-Star break, looked like the MVP. She was guaranteed MVP. I came on this channel and said she was MVP. I was ready to dethrone A'ja Wilson, my favorite player, A'ja Wilson, right? And then the second half of the season happened, and A'ja Wilson ran away with it because Nafisa Collier got hurt, and the team was bad. That's what happened. So I'm not ready to quite put Olivia Miles in those conversations for me personally. I respect what she's doing. I understand what she's doing. She's already a great player. She's going to be great for many, many years. Let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the freaking brakes. Because Olivia Miles, as great as she is, for me, MVP is a full season award. I need you to do it for a full season. I don't care if you did it in June. I don't care if you do it in July. I care when you do it for a whole, was it almost 50 games now in a season? That's what I care about. And to be quite honest, there's going to be a time, and this is something I'll be more than happy to. This is something I'll be able to hold my hand up at the end of the year and say either I was right or wrong. Olivia Miles is going to hit that rookie wall at some point. And if it's going to happen at some point, it's probably going to happen in the latter half of the season. And then maybe we just look at this season for Olivia Miles and say, hey, I want her to be a unanimous. I want her to be a unanimous Rookie of the Year. It shouldn't be any question that Olivia Miles is a unanimous Rookie of the Year. I would be fine if she got a couple MVP votes. She should not win it, and we'll see what happens there. But otherwise, the team has been great. Courtney Williams next to Olivia Miles has worked out way better than I thought it would. Natasha Howard revitalizing her career after sort of like a okay season in Indiana last season. Coach Cheryl Reeves looks amazing as the head coach, and continuing to just recycle talent and just have talent come back to her or bring in new talent. It looks great. And again, if I would have made preseason predictions, I would have looked like a fool trying to say this team was bad because they've been very good. Moving on here, we're actually going from top to bottom and then back to upright and then down again. If you're playing at home, that's the order we're going to go in here. So next team up is the New York Liberty, and they finally got Sabrina Ionescu back. She's played 2, maybe 3 games back with the team. The game I watched most recently was New York for Chicago last night. She didn't look great. She had some moments where she looked like she got her step back, and then she sort of went back into her shell a little bit. But otherwise, I've really liked what Coach Chris DeMarco has done. I've sat here and I told Liberty fans, I told them on this platform, I told them on the other platforms that Coach Chris DeMarco is going to be good. It's just the pressure of him having to win a championship in his first year is that's the goal for this Liberty team. It's championship or bust. There is no, oh, we made it to the conference finals. Oh, we made it to the playoffs. You need to win a championship. That pressure might get to Coach Chris DeMarco. Starting the season a little rocky without Sabrina, but picking up the pieces with people like Esther. Oh my God, I said her name last night and now I can't say her freaking name. Let me make sure I don't blow you guys' ears out. Astia, yeah, Paulina Astia, yeah. Picking up the pieces with her. Julie Van Loo had a cup of coffee in New York, played well, and now Sabrina's back. And now they have their full group back of Sabrina, the 2 white girl shooters, Marina Johannes, and the other one, I always forget the other one's name, but they have Stewart, who has been playing at an MVP level, but I would more prefer Stewart to be Defensive Player of the Year. Brianna Stewart, I said this when I did my top 50, was it top 50 players coming into this year for the WNBA? I said, even if Brianna Stewart will never get back to the offensive peak that she had at one point in her career, she has been so great defensively the last 2 years, and especially coming into this year, she's been even better. So they have those three. They added Satu Sabali, who apparently is just going to come off the bench now, which I didn't expect. I thought she was going to start, but her coming off the bench and being that second unit sort of leader, great. She played great last night against Chicago. And then Jonquel Jones, who I'm not the biggest fan of Jonquel Jones, but her just being there and her just showing up and using her size is just enough for this New York team to keep their head above water. And they're sitting at 11-4 on the season, 3rd in the league right now. And I don't have a lot of questions for them. I think all the questions will sort themselves out, and the questions that are going to pop up are going to pop up later. So we just don't have to worry about them. They just got to get this team healthy, get some games together under their belt, all the whole core group, and just ride it out from there. And I think Chris DeMarco is going to learn on the job. And I think the greatest thing about having Chris DeMarco and having him coach an older team is that Brianna Stewart's been there, done that. Jonquel Jones has been there, done that. They have a lot of these players who've been there, done that. And they have some young players or younger players, that energize this team, and sort of blissful ignorance that they haven't done it before. So they're on sort of more the Chris DeMarco side of things where they're learning on the fly, and it's a fun learning experience in New York. And I don't think they'll hit any hiccups as long as they stay healthy. Because last year's team could have gone to the finals just on the the guides of them just being the most talented team in the league at some point. And then injuries took that away. So they just need to be healthy this year. That's all. That's it. They played some good basketball. Got Sabrina back. That's it. Um, Next team, the Atlanta Dream. The Dream. I had a dream. Yes, I had a dream. I had a dream that the Atlanta Dream would not win the championship. That's my dream. I'm kidding. I'm trying to be fun. I'm trying to do my stand up bit here. It's not working. Um, the Atlanta Dream. They've been okay enough. They're getting Brianna Jones back next week, supposedly. That's the rumor I heard. So she'll make her season debut. They've had some ups and downs. They've had a pretty tumultuous last couple games. Angel Reese got fouled really hard against their game in Toronto. Um, Made her a little upset. The background to that Angel Reese versus Isabel Harrison beef is like crazy. I encourage you to look it up. I'm not gonna say it here because it's literally just hearsay and whatever. So I'm not here to spread rumors and gossip and stuff, but it is very interesting. That being said, though, Angel Reese has been playing good. Um, let me see the Ryan Howard numbers. Ryan Howard's a player who I had on my obviously on my top 50 WNBA players coming into the season because she's a really good player, but she's been very stagnant the last couple years. Hasn't really stepped up in any major category. Just has decent enough numbers to be an all star, but never anything crazy. Yeah, still around. Yep, 17 to 18 points. Yep, shooting the three ball, field goal percentage. Yep, yep, right around where I thought she'd be. Yep, same stats every year. Literally the same stats every year. Um, 3 point percentage is up, 37%. That's a jump. Okay, I'll take that. 37%. And then what's her field goal percentage at? 42%. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, the percentages are going up. Okay, the actual like numbers, like the box score numbers, the ones you look at, points, rebounds, assists are pretty much the same throughout her whole entire career. But these percentages are really good. Shout out Ryan Howard these first couple like dozen games or so, shooting better, field goal percentage is better. Um, this team is weird because it feels like they're on that cusp of being a champion. And then I'm going to have to reevaluate them again when Brianna Jones comes back, but they're on the cusp of being like a championship level team. But I don't feel as if they are a championship team. Like I feel there's something missing. And I can't quite put my finger on it because I like Alicia Gray. I like Ryan Howard. Angel Reese is hit or miss for me on some nights. Some nights I just feel like she puts her team in a hole, like unto her own doing. Like she's gonna dribble the ball off her foot. She's gonna touch the ball when it's about to go out of bounds. She's gonna throw up a dumb shot. I feel like Angel Reese's progression throughout this season is going to be so important for her to learn how to play winning basketball because she played winning basketball. She played championship level basketball in college, and she knows what that takes. She's been in so many she's been such a bad environment in Chicago that they weren't winning that I don't want to say she forgot how to win, but I don't think the understanding of it takes a full season and it takes a full season of effort and so many things to go right. It takes a full season of things to go right for you to be a champion. And this team, and not just Angel Reese, let me not just single out Angel Reese, because I got a comment last time. One of you didn't like how I talked about Angel Reese. And I respect your opinion. But now let's move away from Angel Reese for your sake if you're listening. Hi, how are you? Um, this whole team, they lost to the Indiana Fever last year in an embarrassing fashion. They were the higher seed, and they lost to a lower seeded Indiana team without a lot of their star players. So I question the mentality of this team overall. And maybe that hardened them a little bit, that loss in the playoffs last year. But I'm sort of worried about this team mentally, where I'm not sure if you got it. Do you got enough it? Do you have enough, like, mean in you? I don't know. I don't know. You don't got enough mean people. You need to be mean. Not just nonchalant or, like, quiet like Ryan Howard or whatever. Like, you need to be mean. You got that it factor. I'm not sure Atlanta has that it factor quite yet. Maybe they need another loss under their belt to actually feel like they're the underdogs or overrated or underrated, whatever the case may be. Um, yeah, that's my little spiel about Atlanta. Otherwise, 9-4 in the season, not terrible, not great, but just number 4 in the league, which is good. That'd be, what would that be? That'd be number 2 in the conference, yeah, in the Eastern Conference. Moving on here, let's move on to Indiana. Indiana's had a roller coaster to start this season. The Aaliyah Boston thing, where she's like injured, but like the only thing that's gonna fix her injury is rest, and she can't rest because they need her because they didn't sign another center in the offseason. Yay. The Caitlin Clark being in a funk and finally getting out of that funk. The game-winning shot that Caitlin Clark hit in Washington a week ago now. Finally got her mojo back. That play was apparently not the play that Coach Stephanie White, bottom left of your screen, drew up, and Sophie Cunningham just threw it into Caitlin Clark and she made it. There's been a lot of buzz about Caitlin Clark and the whole team against Stephanie White, that they don't like Stephanie White. I never bought in that they don't like Stephanie White. They always seemed like everybody on the team and Stephanie White have a good rapport. I think they don't like her basketball decisions. And I think Caitlin Clark being in that funk didn't help it. Because when Caitlin Clark has it going, it looks really great. When she doesn't have it going, she looks awful. And the team looks awful by proxy, because when Caitlin Clark is just chucking up shots or turning over the ball, it becomes Kelsey Mitchell's team. And as much as y'all like Kelsey Mitchell, I do not like Kelsey Mitchell. I think Kelsey Mitchell is such a redundant player next to Caitlin Clark, and I think Kelsey Mitchell had so many years to have that Indiana team be really good, and she didn't do it. And I think the best course of action, I said this in my preseason video even, or like dream free agency signings for every WNBA team, was Kelsey Mitchell not being on this Fever team. And at times I watch this Fever team and I'm like, okay, yeah, Kelsey Mitchell fits with Caitlin Clark. And then other times I'm like, why are they out there together? Why are we doing this? You know? And then like, I like Kelsey Mitchell with Raven Johnson, their rookie. I like Caitlin Clark with Raven Johnson, their rookie. If I could combine two players, if I could combine Raven Johnson and Kelsey Mitchell, that would be one of the best players in the league, but I can't. And the future of this team is Caitlin Clark. And I feel like Kelsey Mitchell sort of doesn't fit. And that sounds crazy to say, and I've said it, and I'm going to keep saying it. I just don't feel like it fits. And I feel like this team is a very weird roster construction. And the what do you call it? The substitutions are a little weird. Like last game I watched, like Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham just didn't play together for like a majority of the game. And then the second half they started to play together, like your two best shooters not playing together, or like two of your like top 5 shooters just not playing together, is very weird to me. Caitlin Clark getting back in a groove. I don't want to say I like this version of Caitlin Clark, because I don't. Well, I don't like the overall season that Caitlin Clark is having. I like the last couple games. But we can't judge somebody off the last couple games if I'm going to judge the Atlanta Dream off of what happened last season and, you know, sort of like the mediocrity, or not the mediocrity, just like the okay season they're having so far. I have to judge them by right now. The Indiana Fever team isn't a championship team. It just doesn't feel like one. It just doesn't. They rely too much on runs. They rely too much on, you know, sneaky defense, you know, from Caitlin Clark, who I feel like has improved a little bit as a defender over the last couple games. Lane steals, jumping the passes, getting hands on balls. I feel like there is opportunity for Caitlin Clark to be a better defender. I still feel like she isn't 100% either. So when your two best players aren't 100% in Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, that leaves like Kelsey Mitchell and Mo Billings and, God, and no center. They literally have no center. No backup center, I should say. I don't love it. I don't. And I feel like, if anything, the Atlanta Dream are closer to being a championship team. I feel like, let's go through this, right? Because I don't want to keep using the Atlanta Dream. I could use the Atlanta Dream as a reference point, but we'll use the top 5, right? Minnesota, Las Vegas, New York, Atlanta, Golden State. They're in such a different tier than Indiana on any given night. It's crazy. And I just don't feel like Indiana is ever going to be better than these 5 teams. I just don't. I just don't feel it. And that's a really early, like 2-week, 3-week, almost a month in to the season take. But I just don't buy it, man. And I don't buy Stephanie White as the coach on this team. I feel like she makes so many lapses. She has so many stupid decisions. She might be a great person. She might be a wonderful person. That's why people like her. But her coaching, not for me, man. Not for me. Um, Moving on to some more distressing teams. We'll get here in a second. Um, the Los Angeles Sparks. Oh, did I say the Atlanta Sparks? Los Angeles Sparks. Um, what is there to say? There was a a comment I read on another platform a couple weeks ago where I think I said in my last video when I talked about them too, where it's like the Los Angeles Sparks have the biggest case of imposter syndrome this season because they think they are good enough to win a championship, and they obviously aren't. And I'm talking as a fan of Kelsey Plum, as a fan of Cameron Brink, as a fan of a lot of these players on this team. It's been so rough. Now Kelsey Plum's injured. Now Cameron Brink tweaked her ankle in practice. You brought NECA in because you thought she was the missing piece to this team. Um, I'm not the biggest Darica Hamby fan. Never have been since she left the Aces. I feel like her game is gimmicky. Um, the small ball that they try to run just doesn't work in this modern WNBA, or it doesn't work in the way they think it does. And their coach, I think every Los Angeles Sparks fans hates their coach. What's her name? Oh God, I forgot her name. But the coach, they hate her with a passion. I don't hate her. I just think she's incompetent, and I think that's worse than hating somebody. Is just calling somebody incompetent. um, yeah, I this if you told me, hey, the Atlanta Sparks are going to be one game or like one position back from making the playoffs, just like they were last year, I would believe you. Because this team just can't get it together. They have these amazing runs where they look really good, and then they have these runs where you're like, what's going on? What's happening? And then right as Cameron Brink is just about to start getting real playing time and looks fully healthy, she gets injured again. And in the middle of Cameron Brink getting injured before that, Kelsey Plum got injured. So you've lost a lot of your momentum already in a season where you didn't have any momentum. Maybe they could turn around the second half of the season, but this is exactly what I didn't want for them coming into this season. Was I wanted them to start hot and then cool off at the end. Not what they did last year where they started cold and then they heated up at the end and they just barely missed the playoffs. That's even worse. And I'm going to stick my hand up, and I said I had Nneka Ogwumike as the second best player in the WNBA on my list of top 50 players. She has not been the second best player in the WNBA. Good God. So many games where you're just like, it looks like she's lost a step. And maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm crazy. But if I go look at her numbers, right, maybe it's just the eye test for me that she's failing. But I just don't. I haven't seen it all year in the games that I've watched. Nneka, number 30. Stats. Let me see her stats here. Come on. Let me see stats. Yeah. I mean, she's always been wishy-washy though. Like there's 14 dating back to her rookie year, 2012. 14 points, 14 points. I'm going in descending order up until this year. 14 points a game, 14 points a game, 15, 16, 19, 18, 15, 16, 13, 14, 18, 19, 16, 18, 15. She's always been around this teen sort of number, and she's never been like a 20-point scorer. And like, she picked a bad year to get back down to like the mid-teens when she had been a high teen scorer for the last couple years. Dating back to, when is this? 2022, when she was an 18, 19, and then 16, and then 18 again, and now she's just 15. I don't love it. I don't love it. I think this team is on like panic mode watch. Like blow it up, borderline like this team hasn't worked at all. Let's just blow it up. Let's trade Cam Brink. Let's do this. Let's do that. They're borderline. It's over before it's even started. So Los Angeles Sparks fans, if you are also Lakers fans, you should enjoy Luka because this Sparks team isn't doing anything this year, or maybe for the foreseeable future. So that's sad to say, but that's the situation y'all are in. Did I watch them play recently? Nope, I didn't watch them play recently. I don't have them in my game notes, so we'll move past that. Moving on here, rounding into like the bottom teams where I'm not too concerned that they're losing, but I think there's something to these teams at least a little bit. First team up, the Washington Mystics. Um, the word on the street to me, at least, the word on the street to me is that Washington has too much talent and not enough minutes. Um, Kiki Ariafin, um, Shakira Austin didn't play in their last game in Connecticut. That means Lauren Betts played a little bit more. That means some of their other players played a little more. And they played very well. Sonia Citron played very well. Also, Sonia Citron's been having an amazing year. She had a game winner a couple days ago. But it feels as if they're in a weird spot because in this upcoming draft, if they're going to stay where they are right now, right, where they're like, was this the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth worst team in the league? They're going to have another draft pick next year, a high draft pick, and they're going to have to bring somebody else in, and that's just another mouth to feed. And I think after this season, I said this before too, but I was willing to give it a shot. You need to consolidate some of this talent. Some of these women need to go. They need to be shipped off to other places and have greener pastures because the rebuild should be over now. You have enough talent. You have the optimal amount of talent to pick from, right? Let's pick some talent. Let's really hone in on some talent and pick out these women that can really play, and that fit the coach's play style as well. Because I feel like coach is getting sold a raw deal here, where he's just having to juggle all these things and all these minutes and all these rookies and all these young players that are really good. And there are these moments of brilliance where this team looks really good, and then there are these moments that they look really bad, and they just look like a young team, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, it's just weird. This Washington Mystics team is just so fascinating to me. They're one of the more fascinating teams in the league to me as well, for the next couple years, because they could be where the Atlanta Dream are in a couple years. They could be where the Golden State Valkyries are in a couple years. It's just a matter of getting the right talent, finally getting the real minutes that they need. And my one note for this Washington Mystics team is maybe it's time to get rid of Shakira Austin and let Lauren Betts and Kiki Ariafin play together. That's my one note. Hate me or love me, that's my one note of real importance. Chicago Sky. Season from hell, anybody? Lots of injuries, lots of silly things. I watched them play the Liberty last night. It was a really good game until the refs got involved and started calling these ticky-tacky fouls and essentially won the New York Liberty the game. I know the Chicago Sky made really stupid decisions on the back half of that game, but the Chicago Sky started that game very well. The Libs came back. The Liberty came back. The Chicago Sky never stopped fighting. They looked impressive, actually. They looked really good. I almost said Lauren Betts. Camila Cardoso looked good. Skylar looked decent. And then you had, Sydney. What's her name? Sydney something. You had Sydney, who I didn't expect to play, maybe not at all this season, but not well. What's her name? Sydney Taylor. Yeah, Sydney Taylor's a baller, man. Woo. She's a baller. She's a keeper. You gotta keep her on the roster. I know Chicago Sky don't like keeping players, but yeah, keep her on the roster. Gabriela Jaquez, Gabs, not Gabby. She hates the Gabby. Gabs Jaquez played very well in this game, along with Taylor. She had a career third quarter. Gab Jaquez did. It was just a shame this game sort of got ruined by the refs. And I think, for me, that was the best game I saw them play all year. They're missing Courtney Vandersloot. Thank God they're missing her. They don't need her. They're missing Rakia Jackson, who is out for the rest of the season, unfortunately. They're missing a whole bunch of talent, and things behind the scenes don't seem to be going well, but that's always the thing for Chicago. And we'll see what happens with them. But I have so many things like I could say about this team, but I want to remember this team fondly, at least in the beginning of the season, where this one game against the Liberty showed me how good this team could be if they were fully healthy. And they're sort of just in this weird situation where the coaching isn't great, but he's decent enough. There are too many injuries already, and we're only like, was it 4 weeks in, 5 weeks into the season? There's like Courtney Vandersloot's threatening to come back. If you know, you know. Um, I have no hope that this is going to get any better in the back half of the season, in the middle half of the season. So I'm going to choose to remember the good parts of this season for this guy, and one of the good parts is this game versus the Liberty. So yeah, moving on here to the last team that's on my list, and then I do want to talk about my Las Vegas Aces because I have to. It's a requirement when I make these WNBA videos. But Seattle Storm. Finally playing with somewhat of their full roster. They're playing Awa Pham, their draft pick from this year, and Dominic Malonga, their draft pick from last year, finally played together in some full capacity. They had a great game last night. It was a battle of the Northwest, Portland Fire versus Seattle Storm. Great game, very physical game. I watched the highlights for that one. But Dom and Pham finally got to play together in like some real meaningful basketball in a real competitive game. They looked great. I think both had 20 points, right? Both had 20 or close to 20 points. Yeah, these two women, bottom right of your screen, Dom and Pham, they're the future of this team. And I'm so happy they took Pham. I'm so happy they're going to pair with Dominique Malonga. Flau'jae Johnson hasn't impressed me thus far. Their other draft pick from this year, from this past draft. But we'll see. We'll see, man. The Mystics and the Storm are the two most interesting teams to me going into the back half of this decade, where I could see them being really good very soon. Just need to make a couple tweaks, need to do a couple things. The Storm are 3-13 on the season. They got a fresh new coach, and it's gonna be a learning experience for everybody. And I think as we progress here, and I can see where their draft pick is right now. In a moment, I just gotta pull it up here. I didn't prepare well enough. I'm sorry. Where's their draft pick right now? Yeah, so they right now they're at 4. If they can get up into the top 3 and get Hannah Hidalgo, Madison Booker, Juju even maybe, Juju Watkins, then you're set. You're good. You're good. But that's for the future. That's the pipe dream. And as of right now, there are some bright spots for this Seattle Storm team, but they're very far and few between. And I just want to see more Dom and Pham. That's what I really want. Dominique Malonga, Awa Pham, sign me up for 10 years of this duo, please. And then lastly here, because I have to do it, my obligatory Aces rant. Oh man, we're doing it again, aren't we? The Aces are going to have a rocky regular season and somehow win the championship, aren't they? Yep, that's what's going to happen. That's not what I wish upon anybody, to watch their team consistently suffer from success, but also suffer in the regular season and only get to watch good basketball for like a couple games in the regular season and then in the postseason. I don't wish that on anybody. My thoughts about the team have been noted here many, many times. I don't like the roster construction. There's already been a blow up by head coach Becky Hammon about the refs, about the team. I like when she does that, but I would prefer not to have to do that during the regular season, especially like a month in. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if they can win the championship again. Um, I'm still not. I'm still not. What was I saying? Sorry, I got interrupted. I'm not sold we could do it again, but I saw a funny tweet that was. Oh my God, what was the tweet? It was Las Vegas can't beat Dallas. Dallas gave Las Vegas one of the worst whoopings in the past like couple of years they've had in 2 games they played against each other. Las Vegas can't beat Dallas, and Dallas can't beat Minnesota, and Minnesota can't beat Las Vegas. So out of those 3, who is going to be the champ? Or who's the better team? We don't know. could a team like the Liberty sneak in there? I don't know. But I also bring up the Las Vegas Aces because the Commissioner Cup, we have the final set. It is going to be the Las Vegas Aces versus the New York Liberty, a rematch of the 2023 WNBA Finals in which the Aces won. But both these teams very vastly different from when they saw each other last time in a really meaningful game. Finally get a rematch and a part two, you know. It's like John Cena versus The Rock. You know, if you've seen the video, you've seen the video, but it's like that. Finally, again, I'm so excited to see that. This video will probably go out on that day the final is, so, or maybe the day before, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm done yapping. I just wanted to check in on the WNBA once again. I think we'll start doing this a little bi-weekly check-in on the WNBA, see what's happening. You guys will get my all-star ballot at some point in the next couple days. I don't know when. I have to figure out a day to do it because I really want to sit down and vote for the people who deserve to be all-stars. But yeah, just that's it. I'm sorry. I've lost my track. I've recorded 2 videos today. I'm kind of tired. Just on a real note. But yeah, let's get out of here. Little WNBA check-in. Maybe bi-weekly, maybe once a week. We'll see what happens. WNBA is so much fun. And so much fun that I feel like covering it game by game and week by week is such a disservice to it that like checking in every now and then with you guys about my thoughts and about my feelings is good. I think that's the way to do it. But yeah, that's it for now. Check out the video on the left. Check out the playlist on the right. If you click my little icon right in the middle of the screen, a little subscribe will pop up, and you can subscribe with ease. Like and comment as well, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.